Hi guys, welcome back to another video. My name is Fabio Palvelli and I'm here at Total Chaos 2019. Today I have a treat for you. I'm here with the one and only, the very talented, very tall Ian Spriggs.
Thanks for having me.
What's going on? Everything okay?
Yeah, everything's great, thanks.
Are you enjoying yourself?
Yeah, it's been a blast so far. It's been a pretty amazing experience.
This is a very weird conference in a way. Like, it is the only conference where so many things happen at the same time and you need to do so much art direction of what you want to see in order not to miss anything, right?
Yeah, I think they have about 3 tracks where you listen to each, like you choose one of 3 talks.
Yeah, there is just so much, like I think they filled all the possible industry holes.
Yeah, totally, absolutely. Yeah, there's some like artsy talks and then some more technical talks and then more about the industry. It's all over the place.
Yeah, it's true, it's true. So Ian, the reason why I wanted to have this conversation with you is because first, you're fucking awesome. Second, you're fucking awesome. And third, like, I remember this from last year lecture that you had. People were always asking like very technical things about your work, and the answers were always very basic, like, yeah, I don't even do materials. It's like, you know, so everything is so...
I believe in like simplicity. I feel like if you're asking technical questions, it's kind of like you're losing the art aspect of it.
We're not going to talk about technical stuff, but would you mind just breaking down your workflow for those who might be acquainted with your work and think that maybe you're using some sort of special magic?
No, it's just honestly, it's just Maya, Mudbox, Photoshop, V-Ray, XGen for the hair. And honestly, like all the shaders are basically just like I'll surface shader with like diffuse map, spec map, maybe a bump map. I don't even use subsurface maps. I just like everything is just like straight out of the box V-Ray, like default settings. Like my lighting setup is like V-Ray render settings, create light, press render. That's basically my
Okay, let's go back to this create light, because you make it sound super easy, but I've seen your work.
It is easy though.
But you must have a knowledge of how the light behaves, like the way you sculpt your portraits.
Like honestly, I'm the least technical guy you could probably
Yeah, I know, but like you have an understanding of how light works in general.
I have an understanding not of the technical aspects of light, but how light affects the mood of a piece. Like a Caravaggio light will have a hard dynamic light, which will create tension, mood in the piece. Where like Rembrandt will have a soft light, which is more like it's more intriguing. It'll pull you in. Of like it's not aggressive. It's kind of like a soft feeling. So you use different lights to represent the portrait of the subject you're trying to mimic.
How much did you have to study in order for you to develop such understanding of, you know, light and composition?
Oh man, that's a good question. I'm not quite sure. It's like, because it's like I've been doing art my whole life. I went to art school, but I don't know. It's like to count hours. I'm not sure. I've just been like doing it my whole life.
I know, you know, some of these questions might sound totally silly, and forgive me, but I know that there is a lot of practice in what you do. But I do remember clearly that there was a period around a couple of years ago where your work just exploded in popularity.
Yeah. And
was there a particular reason? Is it because maybe you were keeping it to yourself and then you decided to...
Well, I think when people started first noticing me was when I did my self-portrait. Before that, I just did like some generic characters and like just some random things. But I think once I started my portrait series, and then once I started building a portfolio, it's almost like once I got, I think, a collection, it was almost like I was branding myself in a way. Like people saw like the work as a collection as a whole, and it became a stronger piece. Whereas if it was just one portrait and then I did something else, it would have not have been as strong. So I think the more I build on that, it's more branding myself, developing that style of mine, which people could hopefully recognize.
Makes a lot of sense. And let me ask you, like professionally, how did you get to where you are today? Did you work in a company? Did you do it on your own as a freelancer?
After art school, I had a Bachelor of Fine Arts degree, which was basically useless. Like I couldn't get a job. I was living in Montreal, no job. I went to Seneca animation school for 1 year, and then right away, it's like I just got a job in the industry. Like before I graduated, I was hired to work on VeggieTales, cartoon film.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that was back 15 years ago.
But that's for kids, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So I started working on that first. But yeah, I just got in the industry, and I just slowly progressed as time went on.
And at the moment, are you doing things for the industry, or are you doing things just for yourself as a...
I work in the industry like 40 hours a week still. I work at, right now I'm working at Image Engine.
Okay.
So I do that during the day, and then all my personal work is like my portraits and stuff like that. So that's all done in my own personal time after work.
Okay, do people approach you to have their portrait done and rendered in 3D?
Yeah, sometimes. Yeah, they always expect it to be a little bit quicker than it is. They expect like 1 or 2 weeks, and it's like, no, it's about 3 months maybe.
This idea that the computer does everything, it's only a click, man.
Yeah, sometimes that happens. They don't understand the complexities behind it. But
And can you break down a little bit like the process, how you create an image? And I'm not interested in the technical part, like you see a subject, how do you start breaking down the task of making it look good and framing it and, maybe finding a story to the...
Okay, so I start off with finding my subjects. So my subjects are usually people who have affected my life in a positive way, or people I love, my family. So I choose subjects which I know very well. Once I know them, I try to pick a art history painting based on something which I think would suit them, like a Rembrandt painting. I'm like, this is something, a style we could do. And then I'll start taking a photo shoot of them. So I'll take like 200, 300 photos, do the T-pose, the whole 360, and then have a light where I can do different lighting scenarios, I do different poses. And then once I've done the photo shoot, I have a good idea of what I want it to look like. So I'll base it kind of on the art reference I found, and then basically I'll have an idea of where I want to go, and then I just start modeling and working from there.
Okay, I see. And how long does it take on average for you to make one of those portraits?
I'm getting a lot better. It used to take me like 3 months per portrait, but now I've found some shortcuts of like, there's ways how I can cut corners and like cheat certain things. So I've got it down to like, I don't know, 6, 7 weeks.
Okay, that's quite an improvement.
Yeah, but it's still a long time. I think like there's some, like if you have hands in the portrait, hands will take as long as the face.
Oh my God, yeah.
So that's an extra 2 weeks. If you've got more clothes, more like props, like Scott Eaton was holding a skull. It's like you want to model, it's like modeling another head. And he's got 2 hands.
Because everything, it's 3D, right? You model everything.
Yeah, exactly.
Sometimes I still look at your work and I'm like, that's not possible that it's only lit by one light. And very often I read in the description, only lit by one light.
Yeah, the portrait of Sean was 1 light.
Okay.
But like the portrait of Scott would be like a 1 light plus a dome light type of thing. So
Okay.
I've a great, like sometimes I go 1 light. Nope, lights are going off.
Can you tell him that we're doing something? Excuse me? Switch it on again. What the fuck, man? And then, okay. So, very often I cannot believe that some of your portraits are only lit by 1 light. I'm like, how is that possible? What is he doing that I'm not getting? Where is this light bouncing off to that,
I don't know. It's just like, sometimes I do the 1 light with the dome light. But it's just, I think the simplicity really helps. I honestly like V-Ray's got some really good like out of the box rendering where you just render the subjects right away, and it looks pretty good. Most of the work I think is in the diffuse map and like the texture maps. That really helps sell the portrait. Yeah, I don't know.
Now, you did a traditional study path, right? You did like fine art, if I don't mistake.
I went to art school for like 5 years.
And how long did it take you for you to integrate 3D tools in your workflow?
So I went to art school for 5 years. I couldn't get a job for like 2 years, but I spent that time drawing a lot. And then I went to school at Seneca, and it's like as soon as I started 3D, it's basically I never touched a paintbrush or pencil again. So I just completely converted over.
Do you now do it from time to time?
No,
nothing at all.
No, it's like every second spare I have, I'm doing a portrait.
But I believe that you might be very good at it, right? I mean,
I don't know. I was okay. I thought back in the past. I feel like if I do draw, I feel like everything's left-handed. But I'd like to get back into it. I'd like to do some more sketches for sure.
Okay, I see. And let me ask you, like, when you make these portraits, what is one of the tasks that you find tedious or that you don't like to do, but that you know that you have to do it, otherwise, you know?
Probably hair.
Hair,
Yeah, it's just, I used to, before XGen came out, I was just doing them one at a time. It was like,
I heard this story.
Yeah,
I was
it
like,
a
what
nightmare.
does that mean? Like, there are millions of hair on our head.
Yeah, well, I'd get like a nubs curve and say each curve has got like 10 hairs coming out of it. And I'd never do more than that. So honestly, I have like 2,000 hairs, 3,000 hairs all placed by hand. Now with XGen, it's kind of like it's reduced it a bit, but still, hair takes a long time. It's just a lot of tedious things. You got to watch a movie or something on the side as you're doing it.
Yeah, it's true. And actually, like, usually what do you like to look at for inspiration? Not only for portraits, but even for other things, because, you know, you do portraits, but I've noticed that in a lot of things that you do, even the surroundings are very well studied. You do also a little bit of like the background, what you...
Yeah, but like a lot of the inspiration, still honestly, most of it comes from art history paintings. Like a portrait, I did one of a portrait of Erica, and she's got like this green curtain background. And it's inspired by the Hans Holbein, the Ambassador's painting, which is basically, I just copied the curtain one for one. So I put that in the background of her.
Is that a simulation or sculpted?
For the curtain, it was a simulation, but I did like, there's a cool pattern on it, and it was just all hand done.
Now, you probably get this question a lot of times. People that aim at becoming you. He's too tall for you to become like you, so no, but like, which kind of steps would you recommend people to take in order for them to walk the same career path?
Honestly, I don't think anybody should actually try to be me. I think everybody's got to be themselves. Like, if you're just going to try and copy somebody else's artwork, it's like you're not going to create anything original, and nobody's really going to care. I think as an artist, you just got to figure out your own path. And then whatever you enjoy, whatever you love, the more you love it, the more you're going to want to do it, and it's going to become easier, and you're just going to want to do it, and you're going to become original and stand out. So, yeah.
I see what you're saying. I think that there is essentially also a problem with like the institutions where people learn this kind of things.
Yeah.
I remember at the architecture school, some of the exercises that we were always asked to do were copying other people buildings or paintings.
They say like you're supposed to do this step 1, step 2, step 3. And it's like, not really, you don't have to do those steps, and do whatever steps you want to do.
It's really true also because, like, you know, 3D tools, they allow you a shortcut to all these kind of things, right? So you might have a passion painting or drawing by hand, but some people might just like working in 3D and achieve just as good results.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I think 3D definitely. I'm not sure if it's like cutting corners using 3D. It's still like it's almost longer. Sometimes it'll be easier just to.
Some people say, yeah, exactly. I actually have had the same feeling myself. Like, you know, you want to do something okay in 3D, it's relatively fast. You want to do it good, it's very difficult.
Yeah.
You know, you gotta put a lot of effort, and sometimes with a brush, it might be actually a lot faster.
It's always like that last 5%. It always takes the longest amount of time. So I try to get to the end point as quickly as possible. I try to get to the look dev as quickly as possible. Skip some modeling, skip some texturing, get to that end point, and then go back and fix up the models and textures.
Yeah, I see. So it's like a little bit the blocking out technique, and then you go in and refine. Okay, so let me ask this. You're a very good artist, but I'm pretty sure that the internet, it's also made of people that feel the need to criticize you.
Yeah.
Does that ever happen to you?
For sure, yeah, absolutely.
How do you react to that?
Oh, you just go, like, if some people are complaining about something, it's like, they're probably right. They're probably like, yeah, well, there's something I've done wrong, and I just need to be aware of it and make sure I can fix it. So I try to take every criticism to the heart and just like try and learn from it. But some of them just, I don't know, they go too far, and I'm like, no, I disagree with this, and I'm not going to do that. With the portrait of Scott Eaton, there was a conversation that his veins were too big, and there was like 3 or 4 people talking about this being too big, and then Scott interjects and it's like, no, those are my veins.
So he came at your defense.
Yeah, he came at my defense. It was pretty good.
This is fantastic. It's like I got proof.
Yeah.
Ian, thanks a lot for doing this. I'm very excited and I really look forward to see what people from home will get out of this, because I've seen your work, I'm in love with your work.
Oh,
your presentation was absolutely stunning. I tell you the truth, the one from this year I was not able to watch because we were working like crazy, but yeah, you're definitely one of the coolest artists that I've ever had the chance to meet in my life.
Oh, thanks,
so
I really
thanks a
appreciate
lot for doing this. Yeah. I really appreciate it. Guys, thanks a lot for watching. If this is your first time tuning in, make sure to like, share this video, subscribe to our channel. Ian, thanks a lot again for doing this.
Thank you.
I'll see you guys next time.